So this week we begin to talk about plot and then we start tiptoeing into characters. We have a lot of comments to go through, and you guys gave us our homework. To everyone who commented, thank you so much. You kept me sane while I was at work. If we don't read your stuff on the air, sorry, we kind of have to go through a highlights reel. Before playing the home game, we might not really understand the Lovecraft environment or universe. Alan Smith gave a really good quick rundown of what the deal is, just in case you were there wondering what the deuces was all about. The short idea of the universe is that all our everyday stuff is a small lacuna of stability in what is otherwise a really strange and malevolent universe. The central conflict of most of the stories is some poor schmuck who breaks out of the insulated world we all live in to discover the actual truth, trademarked, and what happens to them. So, I don't know about you, but that sounds like perfect romance paranormal material for me. There you go, only she can handle the absolute truth. There was a little pushback on that, though. Ivana pointed out that we might want to consider that having a Lovecraft theme would be an audience alienating premise. That also does kind of lean into some copyright concerns that people have brought up. And I just want to say, don't worry about it. If there's something that 50 Shades of Grey has taught us, it's that we can just search replace the shit out of whatever we want. Search replaces your friend. Replaces your say. It's odd to me because this was kind of the original crowdsourced universe that Lovecraft started it, and then his colleagues and all these people kind of built on this universe that he created, and it just kind of built and built and built, so it is odd that people have that on lockdown. But don't worry about it. Worst case scenario, it's Lovecraft inspired. Joshua Pelfrey points out that Lovecraft stuff was really racist, so we probably want to include smoke or racism. Can do. So as you remember, our question last week was, what is the driving force behind our romantic couple getting together? And of the comments we received, I have to say I like that we kept running with the dream thing. Yeah. Like love dreams enter a huge part of the Lovecraft mythos. Narlahatap Bonaparte. Guys, I am going to be butchering a lot of names. You've been warned. But Bonaparte and Bonaparte pointed out that in Call of Cthulhu, when Cthulhu is about to wake up, a lot of artistic-minded people start to feel the presence of the old one. So they kind of felt moved to make drawings and sculptures of the creature. We got to start with a dream. Yeah, definitely got to start with a dream. But that's how she starts imagining him. One person, and this is kind of troubling to me because I can't find the comment, it's a person, whoever you are, sorry. Yeah, your comment was great and that's why we're re-saying it now. Someone suggested that the basic overarching plot is what is the contrived nonsense that drives Cthulhu to take a human form and go to high school. It's there's some prophecy that this girl is going to stop him ending the world. And it turns out that prophecy is totally true. But she stops him ending the world because he falls in love with her. That's right. Fulfilling prophecy, motherfuckers. And then he dozed and want to destroy humanity because he's learned about our love. It's like In the Day of the Earth. Still the remake, not the original. I support going ahead with this 100. I think that's a good starting point. I didn't know you had love. Oh God, I have no idea you had love. I have no idea about love. Love is awesome. Awesome. The Voltaire strikes again. They touch each other, and then bam, soul bonding. Bitches love soul bonding. They share dreams, and this is kind of how they get to know each other. He's like hunting her in her dreams, but he's really falling in love with her as he does. She's really threatened by this, and also really turned on. Jacob Littleton post mentioned that what we could do was, while the old ones were sleeping, they were tapping into the unconscious minds of humanity near them. They were while the way were viewed by the human So when Cthulhu is finally brought back through a botch summoning, or in our case, to stop the person who would stop the end of the world, he's stuck with the most compelling image crafted by the strongest desires of these minds, aka the young female desires for the perfect boy. So hence why he's Sahati. There are quite a few where she writes poetry to her elder abomination, which I enjoyed a lot. I want read them here, but there were quite a few poems which were very enjoyable to read. Here sown seen by Michael Whitry that I think captured what we re going for very well. Will you always believe me, even when every one of your senses, every one of your memories is telling you that I'm lying? What could I say, she thought, always. That's actually kind of perfect. Yeah, that's great. I might have to copy that one word for word. That makes me feel like this one line that Carlos Ernestone Crenold's offered, where he feels that the phrase, the most merciful thing in Protagonist's world is the inability of her mind to correlate all its contents. Let's look at our friend Bella here. What I find most remarkable about Bella, and this by Stephanie Mear's own admission, is that she is so blank slate that, like literally any woman, white woman, and you, white woman, can slip into her shoes and be her. Her only thing that she does is read and cook for her father. Yeah, but mostly it's reading. And I think reading is interesting because it's a very passive activity. Oh yeah, the thing about the reading aspect, which I find the most interesting about the character Bella, is when she says she's reading, it's all class reading. But it's also some stuff she's read before for class. Yes, she's a reader, and she can reference all these things, but it's not from her own pleasure of it. It's because I've done it before for something else that I had to do. So reading it. I never even really got the sense that she actually enjoys reading. You really read. Well, No. It's just something she's actually able to do without hurting herself. So I would say the major difference between Bella and her copy, Anastasia, down the road, is that Anastasia is a distillation of everything that's really obnoxious about Bella. She's not as socially awkward as Anastasia, but Anastasia has more hatred of other people. See Bella just sort of she's a lot more threatened by other women. Exactly. Like Bella is just kind of dismissive of everybody. Bella is never active in friendships. People come to her to be friends with her. People are obsessed with Bella. Like they trying to crack her, like she's this big project. Yeah. And it's like, no. So we have our Bella. She goes from point A to point, and we'll discuss location later. She has to be, I think it's most important, that she is leaving her mother to live with her father. A lot of the Twilights. Yeah. Like a lot of the knockoffs do. The thing I have found is that the mother is a child. And there's this implication that the Bella character has always taken care of her child mother. Well, this is something. This is a recurring thing I see pop up in Stephanie Meyer's writing, is that her teenagers are not teenagers, they mothers. They 36-year-old mothers that are taking care of everyone, and they have like this giant martyr complex, and they just cannot wait until they can sacrifice themselves for someone else. Like that's on a theory, like hell this is the first Twilight. That's how it begins. Like, oh man, I am so glad I'm dying for someone that I love. Right. Ye. They so okay. Women love martyrs when they are martyrs. Yes. They love men that are martyrs. It was like my theory that I just developed yesterday, that Edward is basically the Phantom, but hot. Oh. Ye. Because he's obsessive. Ye. And possessive. Mom. And Bella honest with herself, fangirl, who loves this shit. You know, whereas in reality you'd probably be a little freaked out unless there's something wrong with you, which is the real problem with their relationship. He just does them and she just happens to like them. And I feel like there's that weird honesty with 50 Shades of Grey where she's kind of aware that this is like incredibly messed up, whereas in Twilight it's just like, nope. No. In one way. And also, I really hate these books and their fetishization of the one. You me first boyfriend. You me very first one. No, I have never even looked at another man. I have never even felt the kindling of the slightest bit of want in my heart. Like Anna, who's 22 and has never had an orgasm, never been attracted to another man. Never touched herself. Ye. That I really don't, boy. Ye. Nothing. She has had It's the ultimate like purity. It's just like, it's supposed to prove something. And it makes me feel so good. And I don't understand why people relate to that, because it's like, that's no one. I think people identify with it, not because they have lived it, but because they do, deep down inside, believe that it's the ideal. Yeah, that's how it should be. Yeah, yeah. She all feel nothing until the one comes along. Yeah, because you re only given one. Yeah, you re only given one. So we re going to do that. Yeah, yeah. She feels nothing until the one comes along. Yeah. So we need a father. We need a mother. We need, yeah, maybe a bitchy best friend. We need, Cthulhu. Who's his family? Yeah. And we also need some like really interesting backstories for all of them, so we can just kind of allude to them, and they completely ignore them. Yeah. Because they don't play into the plot at all. Because remember, we're not here to write a great book. We're here to write a romance paranormal novel, which means we can have all manner and allude to all manner of interesting things in the background, and then we all just breeze right by them. Ye. We. Nyarlathotep. Nyarlathotep. I really want him to be like the Carlisle. I'm just throwing it out here. I want him to be the Carlisle who like understands humans the most because he's the one that's traveled the longest among us. Ye. He's like Dad Weasley. He's not the one that's been like sleeping. Ye. Ye. Weasley. Little Carlisle. Tell us, who are our fellow characters going to be? Remember, we have female characters with a blank slate. We have a flighty mother, the absent emotionally father. Since we're a little bit more sophisticated than Stephanie Meyer, we can also start thinking about our antagonist. Because why not? I mean, I feel like he's going to choose not to end the world, so he's going to piss somebody off. So the someone who gets pissed off is the one we have to save the day from. Yeah. So who does he piss off by not following his orders? How can we make him as or her as thin, as little motivation, as boring? What's his or her vested interest in seeing the world end? Hey Vishnu, we can start over again, right? Ye Vishnu. Oh, that's where Vishnu comes in. Oh yeah, we going to start over. Don't worry. We going to start over. Don't worry about it. We going to start over again. It turns out the new world is just like the old one. Bullet, dodge.